What's good? Welcome to another LiveWire Sports Media Update, another Indiana Fever forecast. All right, guys. So the, the last game, the Indiana Fever changed the day lineup by inserting Katie Lou Samuelson in for Christy Wallace. Now, going back looking at that lineup, was it the right choice from a certain standpoint? Maybe. Then again, maybe yeah. And the reason why I said that is because the two people that I'm looking up here on this monitor is Lexie Hull and Temi Fagbenle. The sheer fact because these two, I think, should be starting instead of the person in the middle with the X over her head is Christy Wallace. Christy Wallace is short. She doesn't play good defense. She doesn't shoot well, even when she's wide open. Now, I can say that for a lot of them on the team, when they have wide open shots they have missed, even Katie Lou Samuelson. But going into the Las Vegas Aces game on Tuesday night, where they put a Katie Lou in and for more size. But what that did was slow down the offense. That was the issue. The offense pace was slow. And slow to where the fact that Katie Lou doesn't run the floor well. Nalissa Smith don't even run the floor well. She wants to hang back and get rebounds. And that causes Caitlin from getting a rebound and pushing the pace. And they transition offense suffer from that. Now, if you remember early in the season before Temi Fagbenle got hurt, she was in the game a lot because Nalissa Smith was messing up a lot. And I could see a situation that will come again where Temi Fagbenle will start again. Now, she do have a little thumb injury. She suffered her first game, I think her first game back against the Mercury. With that being said, I still feel she's still capable of starting because her energy is and her connection with Cece makes it so much potent for the offense to run. Even if Aaliyah Boston is lagging behind, the offense can move because Cece runs, Kelsey Mitchell runs, and Temi Fagbenle runs. Now, you need another runner also, especially to make up ground for where Aaliyah Boston is not back there. And that's where I feel Lexie Hull fills in that spot. See, if they did not cut Celeste Taylor, I would say this is how I would do the lineup. I would have gave Celeste Taylor a chance to start because her defense, and she has good offense too, but we never got to see it because she never got in the game. She only got in the game where bad minutes. If these was NBA players or NBA coaching this team, Celeste Taylor would have been playing. Even in games that where they blow it out, they probably would have pulled the starters and allowed Celeste Taylor to get some burn just to see what she got, because that's how NBA coaches think. They were like, okay, this game is over with. Let's put these players in to see what we have. So maybe we have to change lineup down the stretch at some point in time. And NBA coaches does that all the time. They do change their personnel if it's not working. Here in the WNBA, some of these coaches do not know what they're doing because they don't know how to work the personnel. They don't know how to utilize the skill set that these players have to make sure that you have the right lineup in. If you want to be a team that runs, you need to have runners on your team. You know what I'm saying? You cannot have slow-footed people that can't run up the floor. So with that being said, I would have started, if Celeste Taylor was still on the team, I would have started Celeste. I would have started Temi. I would even start Lexie Hull, and I would have started Cece and Aaliyah Boston. The reason why I would do that is because Temi runs the floor. She has she finished under the basket. She has a short mid-range. Leo Boston could use her post. Celeste Taylor could work with CC out there handling the ball. Then you have a wing person such as Lexie Hull that could help spread the floor and get in open shots. And I think Lexie Hull confidence, the more she starts, her confidence will grow to be able to hit shots from the outside. Her shots is not falling the way it's supposed to because she's not getting that time. And when she comes in and then she makes one mistake, she's getting yanked out the game. And then she goes cold. So how can you build any juice with her? You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm going to go back and show you something about Lexie real quick. Lexie Hull currently leads the Fever in offensive rating and net rating. And you know why? Because she doesn't really play. She does not play she didn't play a single minute against the Aces, despite Samuelson, Wallace, and Wheeler shooting a combined 3 for 13 from the field. If you have these three people, and my thing is, Christy Wallace should have never seen the floor against the Aces. It should have been Lexie Hull. You know why? Because Lexie Hull could have neutralized anything that Kelsey Plum was doing. She would have been out on Kelsey Plum. They would have had to force the ball to go to a whole nother direction or back to Audra Wilson. You know what I'm saying? And that would have helped a whole lot of that transition threes where Kelsey Plum was starting to warm up late in the third, going into the fourth, where you had a 5-point lead and they went on a 10-0 run in the fourth and made it a 15-point lead. But see, Christy Sines don't know how to do that because she don't know how to she wait too late to call a timeout when the lead is already big. Once you saw Kelsey Plum hit 1 3 or 2 threes, you should have called a timeout to slow the game down. You should have put Lexie Hull in there right then and there and said, hey, Lexie, I need you on her. You stick with her. Whatever you do not lose her. Then you would have forced her to do other things. CeCe's defense is decent enough to stay with Gray a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Jackie Young, my bad. You know what I'm saying? And then you would have probably had Kelsey Mitchell probably on Gray or whoever's in the game at that time. And then if you got any shots, then guess what? Lexie Hull or Temi Fagbenle, I would have did that going into the fourth quarter because I would have tried to get back into the game by defense and running the floor. Lexie, all of them could have run the floor. I would have took all the slow people out the game easily. I would have took them completely out the game and ran, and then see how it would have played out within 2 to 3 minutes of the game. And if the Fever got within range, then I would have just kept that. I would have kept that same unit running. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you sit your best asset on the bench when you need them the most. Because you got to think, Chelsea Gray was out the game most because she's not in shape to run. You know what I'm saying? The same thing that the Fever did against the Mercury Random, and they got tired and worn down because guess what? DT didn't play the next game. So you got to take the opportunity to run if you can run with these teams. You can't slow the game down and play half court. It doesn't work for them because Melissa Smith is not a real good defensive person. She throws her body sideways and then she wants to try to she don't want to play defense, but she wants to be alert enough to get rebounds. And that's where we don't need her. And then she misses shots. That's the one thing that I feel with her is going to bench her. She's missing shots on the open floor where she's wide open. She's missing layups. And then she's shooting really bad from the free throw line. So I will put her and Temi Fagbenle in her spot just because Temi can run the floor. Then when you want, then you can bring Melissa Smith in the game. That's what I would have do. I would have bring Melissa Smith in the game like that. Then for Christy Wallace, I would put Lexie Hull in the game for the same reason. Because Lexie Hull can run, she moves, she screens, she can handle the ball pretty decently. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of Lexie Hull, her and Erica Wheeler, I don't know why the Fever pick up their fourth-year option. Their option runs all the way through next year. Now, they could get cut in training camp. You know what I'm saying? They could get cut in training camp. That doesn't mean they have a roster spot filled for next year. Now, I want to show y'all something really close because I feel like the Indiana Fever made a big mistake starting out the season, period, especially when they training camp. If you look at this right here, this is their training camp roster down the line. Their training camp roster consists of Grace Berger, Leah Boston, Maya Caldwell, Caitlin Clark, Leanna Corona, Damaris Dantes, Temi Fagbenle, Lexie Hull, Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell was hurt. She didn't play in training camp, and I think mostly preseason either. Katie Lou, Victoria Saxon, Melissa Smith, Chelsea Taylor, and Christy Wallace and Erica Wheeler. Now, I believe I did a video way back about Corona and Caldwell, and the reason why I about them because they messed up. The Indiana Field messed it up, this roster. If you had cut Wallace and you had cut, even if you had cut Wallace and Victoria Saxon, you would have had young pieces to be able to come in the game to contribute. Fresh legs, young legs that could run. But you didn't give your opportunity. You wanted to kept older bodies that can't run on the floor. And Caitlin Clark is a runner. That's when she's at her best, when she's running and pushing the tempo in the game. That's just like if you look at any other team, like Kelsey Plum, she pushes the tempo. Sabrina Ionescu, she pushes the tempo. Natasha Cloud, she pushes tempo. That's what Caitlin Clark does. She pushes tempo for these teams. She don't like to play in the half court because it slows down and then it gets bogged down. You know what I'm saying? So Lainey Carrera and Maya Caldwell. Carrera was the Fever's third round pick, number 27 in 2024. And she was out of Florida. She was the SEC Sixth Woman of the Year and second team All SEC in 2024. But she only showed limited minutes in preseason. She played less than 10 minutes in Indiana's game against Dallas in the preseason on May 3rd and did not play against Atlanta that Thursday night. Then Caldwell, she only played 30 games and started one for the Fever in 2023. But she was with Indiana on a training camp contract this past season. Now, Caldwell, like I said, Caldwell only played less than 10 minutes the first preseason game. Now, the two of them was cut off the roster. And because they needed to cut down to 12. And so Victoria Saxon, she's a second-year player, which she don't even get no time. And see, when I did the research on Corona and Caldwell, they could score. They score, play defense, and they was able to utilize their quickness and size. And this is where Christy Size don't know her roster because she wanted to stay loyal to people like Wheeler and Wallace. And when it was bad, Damaris Dantes was on the roster too. They signed her, but she got hurt. And now she's back, and she doesn't even give the team any value because she's not on the floor. She came in an Aces game. She looked slow, and I like Damaris because she has a great upside once she get in shape, because she can set great pick and rolls. I have seen it. She's been with the Minnesota Lynx, but she's not in shape. So will she be able to get in shape when we get that 30-month, that 30-day break coming up? Who knows? But can you see a situation where Chrissy Sides know how to use her personnel? No, because he don't know how to use her personnel. And this is why I'm in this video right now, because I feel right now, going forward, Christy Wallace needs to come off the bench at some point in time. Maybe not. She needs to play behind Erica Wheeler. It should be Lexie Hull, Erica Wheeler, and then Christy Wallace. It should be Temi Fagbenle, Nelissa Thomas, and Damaris Dantes. That's how it should be. That's the rotation. Then when you take Boston out, you could move Alyssa Thomas in that spot. And then if you take Temi Fagbenle out, you can move Katie Lou Samuelson in there. Well, my mistake. Let me say that again. It should be Temi Fagbenle starting, Alyssa Thomas, then Katie Lou Samuelson. Katie Lou needs to move down. Or you could move Katie Lou behind to come in for Temi and have Nelissa Thomas come in for Boston. And then you still have like a 3-point person out there with Katie Lou, you know what I'm saying, and everything like that. And then you could have Erica Wheeler run that second unit like that until you could get, what's the name? And then you probably, me personally, I don't know how healthy Grace Berger is. I will have her to come in and assume that role behind Kelsey Mitchell. You know, I mean, see, the bad thing about it, by cutting Celeste Taylor, it killed you, because you don't have a valuable person to come in to take Kelsey Mitchell's spot, because you'll end up putting Christy Wallace in that spot. And Christy Wallace don't need to be in that spot because she's not a scorer. And see, that's where you hurt yourself as a team, period, because you have Wheeler and Wallace on the floor at the same time. And none of them can't score. You kill any momentum that you would really have against a team, because you got two people that can't run the offense, that can't really score, and then you stuck. You stuck. So my thing is this here. I don't think Christy Sides is going to change anything going forward. I think what she's going to do is going to do patchwork again. They got a game tomorrow day against the New York Liberty at 1 o'clock on CBS. Me personally, I would not let Nelissa Smith start. She would have to come off the bench. She is not playing well. She's not. I mean, even Aaliyah Boston is struggling from the free throw line. If you go back to the game against the Aces, the free throw line is really, really important, because when you get to the free throw line and you making shots, it makes teams think about not fouling you and putting you on the line, because you get to the line a lot. Nelissa Thomas and Aaliyah Boston missed a lot of free throws at the line. I can tell you this. It's probably about 10, 12 points that was left. If you put 12 points to what they had, 69, that'll give you what, 81 points? And then you would have been down by what, 7? And then if you had hit open shots, or Caitlin had hit open shots, you probably would have had a chance to win the game. But like I said, you have a coach that don't know her personnel and don't know how to use her personnel. So that is the really bad issue that you have dealing with a coach that is incompetent. Until the Fever gets a real direction, a coach with real direction for this team, the talent of this team is going to be lost and waste. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I would have a personal trainer working with Damaris Dantes to get her in game shape quick. You know what I'm saying? I would put her in a place to get condition, running, position, everything because I think down the line she's a better scorer, and she plays better inside out than Nalissa Smith. I think Nalissa Smith, she just want to try to get paid. I know for a fact that Chrissy Size looking for extension, but the way this team is operating, I don't see her getting paid like that. Even if she make the playoffs, a lot of people keep saying, "Well, if the team make the playoffs, she's gonna get saved. She's gonna still be the coach." I don't think that's the case, because you got to look at it from an NBA standpoint. Coaches that make the playoff and have talent and can't push the team no further. This is her second year. She only won 13 games last year, and the team only won, what, 8 games so far? I mean, they'll probably win 13, 14 games. But guess what? That's still not enough, because they're going to have to evaluate and look at her. Can she push this team any further? If she can't push this team any further, then yeah, I have to let her go. I need a coach that's going to come and maximize everything. Then you're going to have a slew of free agents out there in the offseason. And if she doesn't bring them in and she keeps this roster at a mid, guess what? They're going to still be right where they're at. And then you're going to have teams like Washington, Dallas, and Chicago getting better and passing them. That's why I feel Chrissy Sides has to be fired this year. Her and Lynn Dunn has to get out there. And I would, if I was the owner, I would threaten Lynn Dunn's job. I would say, hey, you either find me an NBA coach in this offseason, or your job is done. You need to have a talk with her, say this lineup needs to change, and Caitlin Clark needs to be more efficient than what she is. Because you can't predicate your team. Like I said, Tom Thibodeau, that's who Chrissy Sides remind me of. She wants to play defense, slow the game down, hit efficient shots when your team is built for running and executing in a fast break. All you got to do is put the right personnel in there. Like I said earlier, if you put Caitlin in, Kelsey Mitchell, Temi Fagbenle, Lexie Hull, and what's the girl name? Leah Boston in. You can match up with just about anybody that likes to run. You know what I'm saying? You can match up with anybody. Because guess what's going to happen? Soon as one of y'all get a steal the thing, y'all can push it to CC and she running. Lexie Hull could get up the floor quick. Kelsey Mitchell gets up the floor quick. So why not utilize them at that point in juncture? You know what I'm saying? But like I said again, Chrissy Sides is dumb. She don't know how to utilize her personnel. And it's going to take a real coach to come in there and utilize that skill set, the skill set of these players the way it needs to be. Because at the end of the day, it's going to cost this team royally. And I just don't feel like Chrissy Sides has the tools, the mindset of everything. So with that being said, I hope this lineup change going into the New York game, because you're going to need a little bit more defensive speed, especially you need somebody. Lexie Hull did the last time she played. She did a great job on Stewie, and Stewie's starting to shoot threes. You need a person like Lexie Hull out there on her. Now that Temi Fagbenle back, you could do a little bit more different. Jacquel Jones, she's really good. So that's her and Leah Boston matchup. That's gonna be great right there. Alyssa Smith, I don't know. She's probably gonna be on Lainey Hamilton, but I will put I will put Temi on Lainey Hamilton, because Lainey, she's fast, but Temi could stay with her. You know what I'm saying? And then probably I don't know who you're gonna put on Caitlin or whatever. Like I said, there's ways that y'all can match up with them to make the game close. So with that being said, tell me what you think, what the lineup should be for the Fever. I gave you my thoughts on it. But again, I feel really, I think that that lineup needs to be changed to be faster to run, because you got teams. If you look at certain teams you play, look at how they play in the game. A lot of these teams don't run. They do not run. So the Fever has advantage of having these teams run like that, or running these teams, tiring them down. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they all big. They all have small units. The only team that really can run a little bit is the Aces. You got the Storm. They just big and athletic all over the board. Then you have what else? Who you have else? Oh man, let me look. Atlanta, they don't run that well. You can run them. Chicago don't run that well. You can run them. Minnesota is another team that runs, but they small. They're medium height, And then the Feast of Carlos just got hurt last night, but I believe the Fever could beat the Minnesota Lynx easily because we have a size advantage and we can run and push. So, but the thing about it, you just got to contend them on the perimeter with 3-pointers. That's the thing. But like I said again, let me know what y'all thoughts is about this Fever lineup and how could they change and get better, especially with they only gonna have 4 games left after Saturday. I think they don't play again until Wednesday of next week. And then they got a Friday game, and then I think they have a Sunday game, and that'll be all their games. So yeah. But again, continue to like, comment, subscribe. Until then, this is your boy LiveWire Sports, and I'm out.